Hi there, in this video, I'm going to explain basic concepts about SFC language, such as step, transition, action, and so on. In the next video, I'll start a practical project using Factory.io software. Before we get started with today's video, I just wanted to inform you about all the great content we have been releasing on the plcgoods YouTube channel, which includes industrial automation PLC programming, HMI, and microcontroller-based developments. My name is Syed Reza, and if you enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, to receive the latest and the greatest content I will be posting through the channel. Alright, let's start the video by creating a new standard project in SFC language. Alright, here you can see the most simple program in SFC. Right now, it doesn't do anything. The three important parts of this language are steps, transitions, and directed links between steps and transitions. I can easily right-click to add another step with its transition. Also, steps and transitions can be added from the right list. Pay attention, after each step, a transition must be entered, otherwise, CODESYS will detect it as an error. Transmissions determine when the program execution must exit from one step and go to another one. For example, the first transition is always true. So, the controller will exit from the first step to the next one immediately. Now, let's define a Boolean variable for the second transition. Assume the program execution has reached the step, whose name is step 0. Now, if the tr0 is equal to 0 or false, the controller will remain in the step. Every time tr0 is changed to 1, the controller will exit from step 0 and go to step 1. Similarly, let's use two Boolean variables for the next transitions. Note that logical expressions whose results are Boolean can be used too. As you see, at the end of the sequence, a jump instruction has been used. Now, it refers to the first step, so this loop will be repeated. I can remove the jump instruction, and also change its destination. Let's select step 0. Now, the controller will repeat these three steps continuously. Note that, for each sequential function chart, one step must be defined as its initial step, which program execution will be started from there. The initial step can be changed easily, by right-click on the desired step. Note that, the initial step has a thicker border. On the right side, you can see some elements that can be used to construct your SFC program. Also, any transition or step can be selected to see or change its properties on the right side. For example, let me define a minimum time for the initial step. As a result, although this transition condition is true, the controller will stay in the initial step, at least 10 seconds. Let's continue. For each inserted step, some actions can be defined, which the controller will execute them. As you see, there are 4 different types of actions. The main action is added here. CODESYS executes the main action when the step is active and any entry actions have already been processed. Another type is exit action. CODESYS executes this action one time, when the step is deactivated. On the left side of each step, its entry action can be added. It's executed after the step is activated, and before the main action. Well, the last type is IEC actions, which are executed according to their qualifiers. IEC actions are executed 2 times, first when the step is activated, and second when the step is deactivated. Let's continue the video with the last type of actions. The other 3 types will be explained and used in the next video. For each IEC action, a qualifier must be selected. Here you can see all of them. These three qualifiers whose names are not stored, reset, and set, are more common than others. This one can be used to reset a Boolean variable or digital output to 0. Note that, several IEC actions can be defined. They will be executed from top to bottom. Well, let's define two more variables, and reset them at the initial step. Now, let's use another qualifier for the next step. Well, this qualifier, s, can be used to set Boolean variables to 1. It works like the set pin of the rs instruction, which was explained before. Another common qualifier is n. It turns on an output, when its corresponding step is enabled, and turn it off, when the program execution exit from the step. As you know, when a set instruction is used to turn on an output, a reset instruction should be used to turn it off. So, let's use the reset qualifier to reset the a variable. Alright, let's change the current sequence structure a little, using a branch. Branches can create parallel or alternative sequences. This is an alternative branch. CODESYS processes just one of these branch lines at a time, depending on the preceding transition condition. Note that, when alternative branches are used, transitions must be defined before and after each step. Now, let's press Ctrl+Z on my keyboard, and then add a parallel branch. Note that, only one transition must be used before and also after parallel branches. These lines of branches will be processed at the same time. Now, let me test the current SFC program, using the simulation option. As you see, the initial step has been enabled. Let's run the simulator. Based on my settings, after 10 seconds, because this transition is true, the controller will exit from the initial step, and will go to step 0. Based on the defined action, step 0 has enabled the a variable. Now, let me activate the exit transition. I need to change the state of tr0 from false to true. As you see, the two steps of the parallel branches have been enabled, and based on these two actions, b and d variables have been enabled. If the controller exit from these steps, the state of these variables will be changed to 0. Now, let's go to the last step, which will disable the a variable. Note that, at the end of the sequence, a jump instruction has been used, which refers to step 0. So, if I enable the last transition, the controller will jump to step 0. As a result, all parts of my program except the initial step, will be executed again. Alright, let's exit from the simulation mode. Now, let me change the parallel branch to an alternative branch, and then test the program to see its performance. Again, let's test the program. Well, after 10 seconds, step 0 will be enabled. After this step, there are two branches with two transitions. If I enable either of them, the controller will exit from step 0. Let's enable this transition. As you see, only the right branch has been enabled. Now, neither of these transitions affect the sequence. Let's activate them. Well, by activating this transition, CODESYS has not executed step 1. Also, if I enable its exit transition, CODESYS won't go to the next step. Based on the program, to exit from the current step, I need to enable this transition. Alright, let me exit from the simulation mode. Now, let's see how the help window can help us to learn SFC language. Now, let me go to the SFC section directly. Well, here you can learn basic concepts related to SFC language. For example, here you can see all valid qualifiers. If you remember, I've used these three common qualifiers. Note that, some flags can be enabled for each step. Flags are implicitly generated variables with predefined names. For example, they can be used to display timeouts, or reset the step sequence. Finally, in this section, you can learn how SFC elements such as steps, transitions, branches, and macros can be used. Alright, let's do a simple project. Here is a simple SFC program, similar to the previous one, with these variables. Now, I want to show you how it can be rewritten using structured text language. So, let's create a new POU, whose language is structured text. First, let me copy and paste these variables into the new POU. Also, I'll need a variable like state, that will determine the current step inside the new POU. Let's use 0 as its initial value. Because, on the left side, step 0 is the initial step. As I've mentioned earlier, the state variable determines the activated step. If its value is equal to 0, the controller must enable the A variable, and if either of these transitions is activated, the controller must exit from step 0, and turn off the A variable. Note that, if this transition is enabled, I mean, if trans 0A is equal to 1, the controller must go to step 1, otherwise, if trans 0B is enabled, step 2 must be executed. As you see, I can easily use if statements to rewrite the SFC program. In my program, the state variable determines the current step. Similarly, I can use another if statement, to write a program corresponding to another step. But let me use a more efficient structure, using case instruction. You can learn it using the help window. As you can see, there are 4 steps from step 0 to step 3, inside the SFC program. Respectively, I'll store number 0 to 3 in the state variable. As I've mentioned earlier, when the state variable is equal to 0, this part of my program can be used, corresponding to step 0. Now, let me clear this extra part, and then complete my program. Please pay attention to arrows, to understand my program logic in structured text language, based on its SFC program. Alright, let's compile the program to ensure there isn't any error. As you saw, I've used this variable, and then rewrite the SFC program, using structured text language. Similarly, the program can be rewritten in CFC, FBD, and also ladder diagrams. In the next video, I'll start a practical project using Factory.io, to learn SFC language. Thanks for watching my content. If you have any question on this topic, make sure you leave them in the comment section below, and if you can spend a few seconds of your time liking as well as sharing this video, if you enjoyed it, that will mean a lot to me. If you have any suggestions for the channel, such as what kind of hardware or software I should be covering, then make sure to leave that in the comment section. See you next time. Bye bye.